And late in life ADHD diagnosis, or a late in life ADHD diagnosis, is going to blow your life up. It's going to destroy everything unless you do this. What's up? What's up? What's up? Coach Bruce is in the studio, and I want to talk about the effect of the late in life ADHD diagnosis and how it is going to blow up your life. Um, for most people, there is a sense of massive relief when they finally understand why they've never fit in. For me, understanding my ADHD diagnosis was a huge part of finding growth and really being able to engage in life in a more substantial way. But before that happened, I had to go through a sort of a life meltdown. And let me tell you why this is going to happen to anybody who gets that late in life diagnosis and doesn't have the information necessary to stop them from engaging in what happened to me. With any kind of growth, you're going to find that weaknesses are exposed, right? And as those weaknesses become exposed, if you're not tending to them, they are going to leach out into your life and they are going to start to cause, wreak havoc. So if you are dealing with this new diagnosis and all the different things that come with it, trying to learn more about learn and educate yourself about what it means to be an ADHD person, you're going to be leaving a lot of stuff untended. That's one reason why it's going to kind of jack with your life some. Two, if you are if you're not careful, it's easy to feel mad at the world because you weren't diagnosed properly. Mad at your parents because they didn't take you to the doctor. Mad at your coworkers and friends because they didn't notice you were different in the correct way. Mad at the bullies that you've dealt with in your life because they didn't take it easy on you because you were different. All of those things might be true, but none of them matter now. You've got the diagnosis. You now know that your brain works differently than the majority of the world. You can take that information and you can sulk over it, or you can take that information and you can realize that being special is actually an amazing thing. But you have to then do the work to make it amazing. It's not just amazing on its own. As I've talked about previously, having a superpower in itself isn't awesome. Growing up, or sorry, waking up with super strength could be really, really cool until you try to open the front door and you tear it off the hinges. You try to, start your car and you push your foot down on the gas and you put your foot through the floor of the car because you don't have control. You haven't done any training. You haven't learned how to leverage your special ability into a strength yet. It's just raw, unfettered, power, and that's not usable yet. But with training, um, awareness, and then direction, you can put that towards something amazing. Most people get this late in life diagnosis and do the work to figure out what it means, and then they do a lot of complaining. Well, how didn't they notice? And so many people did this wrong, and all those things are fine. But having this diagnosis, what has made it so special to me is now I understand how to engage in life in a different way that works well for me. The ADHD diagnosis has been a roadmap for me to be able to plot my course and then figure out what I'm likely to be stronger at than not and where my weaknesses are likely to be. All ADHD people are not the same. All autistic people are not the same. Some of us have both. Like I'm pretty sure I'm like very highly ADHD with some autism in this, with slightly on the autism spectrum. So I present as somebody who very sociable, really good at talking, having conversations is easy. It's not easy. I'm in my head just as much as other ADHD people, but I've learned to get over that because I enjoy the process of talking to people. I'm lucky that my hyperfixation is communication. So me talking about talking doesn't often come off as me hyper focusing about something that is not interesting to other people. Most people do want to communicate with other people if they're out communicating with people. So I won there. Sometimes it's about being lucky, and sometimes it's about taking the hand that you're dealt and leveraging it to work for you. That is what I have really spent all of my days in figuring out in the last 6 months is, for one, how can I leverage my strengths and weaknesses to then help other people leverage their strengths and weaknesses to get the most out of their life and to engage in the deepest possible ways that they can to provide the life that they want. Um, Another way that this is going to lead to a blow up is you're going to look at all of the masking that you've been conditioned into doing, and it's going to kind of piss you off. And it should, it sucks. But you're going to look at your job and you're going to say, I don't even like doing this. I hate showing up to work. The only reason I'm doing it is because I've been, forced to, show up and people please and be a good girl or a good boy. And then you're gonna say, I don't want to do it anymore because you haven't taken the time to take that diagnosis and then make a plan. You haven't figured out what's important to you, because before you make a plan, there needs to be goals. And before you make your goals, you need to have a foundation of values and beliefs to set those goals upon, and then make a plan directed at accomplishing those goals. A lot of, I'm not going to say all ADHD people, I'm not going to say a lot of ADHD people, but it is common among ADHD people to want to just go out there and start making massive moves and big decisions based off the fact that they now understand their ADHD. They haven't figured out what's important to them. They haven't figured out where they want to go with those decisions. They just know what they don't want to do anymore. I respect that. But making decisions off what you don't want to do versus trying to figure out where you want to go and what you want your life to look like is dangerous, especially whenever it comes to making career changes because you are frustrated about what it's meant to you in the past. There is a large possibility that with the right mindset and a perspective shift, you can leverage the position that you're in that has frustrated you so long as a trampoline to boost you into the thing that would really light you on fire and create passion and purpose for you. But if you just quit, finances become a major issue. People with no money have no options and no choices. You can try, I'm not going to say no. Being a person who has not had money for a while, it is much, much more difficult to see the correct path without some serious patience, some serious clarity, and some like big time faith. I believe in what I'm trying to do, and I know what I'm trying to do. So the fact that I haven't made money in a while has been much less stressful for me because I know that I am working towards my goal and that God is going to help me get there. As long as I keep doing the work, he's going to help me get to where I need to be. Making those decisions without knowing those things is terrifying, and it's not necessarily a good idea. I strongly believe that masking is lying, and you shouldn't just keep showing up to work pretending like everything's okay if it's not. But a perspective shift can take something that you hated and can make it okay. If you realize that you don't show up to work because that's who you are, you show up to work because it is the way that you are able to provide a path to the future that you want, it can completely change like that what it looks like to show up to work. You feel less burdened by the fact that you have to wake up and go there because you know what you're working towards. And that is a major key that so many people don't realize. They feel like they've been saddled with this responsibility to provide for their families, to show up to work a certain job because they got sucked into a direction without making any decisions for themselves. And now they just feel stuck. It is okay to be in a position that you don't love if it is helping you get to the position that you will love. I'm going to say that again. It is okay to be in a position that you don't love if that position will help you get into the position that you will love. So don't go quitting your job just because you realize you're ADHD and you've been masking the whole time and you hate it. Take some time, figure out what's really important to you, figure out your core values and your core beliefs. Make a plan based on some realistic goals. For one, ADHD goals are not neurotypical goals. That's a whole different speech. But I want you to have realistic goals that for you as an ADHD person are attainable and are going to help you build confidence versus building a negativity in you. And then start to look at what it would be like to leave your job. Look at the future, make some plans, and you utilize what you've got now before you throw it all away and start something new that you can't even sustain. That's it for today. I am really excited because things are happening for me in my business. God is speaking to me and through me, and I really feel like I am just moving all of this in the right direction, and just bigger and bigger things are coming my way, which means they're coming your way because I am here to serve my people. And as I keep learning, I'm going to keep giving you that information. Have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow. Be yourself and love yourself.